many cubits.
Too many cubits.
Yep.
There's a
2.5.
lot of details in here. And as I was reading, as I was preparing for the class, it's like, oh, this is gonna be so dry. Until I started diving in, and it's like, oh my goodness, is there a lot of stuff here?
Really?
Yeah, and I'm thinking, oh no, that means we have to read Leviticus in detail.
Oh, really?
Because God has put a lot of stuff in here. A lot of stuff. Even the furnishings, the colors, they all mean something.
Yeah, the purples, the red.
Yes?
I was looking in my Bible dictionary at home, and it said that Hebrews does a remake, explains what's in this chapter with the tabernacle. And so I looked in chapter 9 and 10, and it's just amazing, because I've read it I don't know how many times, and it's never clicked with me at all.
Yeah. And that's the amazing thing in the Bible, how it's all tied together. And that's why we need to read the whole thing.
So you mean Hebrews, it makes it more understanding, easier to understand?
Exactly I guess not that, but it repeats that because Jesus takes the place of the high priest. And we only need one, he died for us, so we don't need a sacrifice. And he doesn't need to do anything more than he's done, his whole thing at one time.
Okay.
I was a little overwhelmed and then realized one of the places I read, creation was 2 chapters, the tabernacle, 10 chapters, and then some. It was really kind of fascinating. I'll flip one of these around.
Oh, wow.
From Rose Publishing. But it just makes it so much alive.
And we need the pictures, because just reading the
Definitely.
words, you get kind of confused. And like Jeanette said, so many cubits, it's like, what's a cubit?
Or 50 curtain rings.
Yeah.
And they repeated it twice. I thought, wait, did I start that chapter? Nope, they did it twice.
Yeah.
50
Well,
curtain
and
rings.
part of it is for each side.
Yeah.
God went through extreme detail so Moses couldn't get it wrong. So he could bring it down to the people that could actually do the work.
And he still didn't do the tablets, because he says, and it will be included in when I give you the tablets. So, I mean, it's like, oh, wow, that didn't even happen yet.
Yeah.
So,
God spoke the commandments to him, but he hasn't given him the written commandments
right.
yet.
That was an interesting thing.
So, in the
All
beginning,
planned out.
yeah,
Yeah. I was in such a hurry, but no.
and you can't be in a hurry.
No.
Because the tendency when we see so many details just to brush right through it.
Nice bag, Gary.
Yeah, that's what mine says.
Goldie too.
Oh, Goldie has one. Oh, my. They took the class.
Yep.
We've been educated.
I'm so proud of you.
Yeah.
I was pretty proud too.
That's what.
So God tells them before they even start to worship, before they even get the format to worship, you are to receive. He tells Moses, you are to receive the offering for me from everyone whose heart prompts them to give.
I thought about you could use that for your stewardship, by the way, when I heard that.
Yep, and it ties to 2 Corinthians chapter 9, verse 7. Each of you should give what you have decided in your heart to give, not reluctantly or under compulsion, for God loves a cheerful giver. God wants us to want to give to Him.
He rewards
Our
a giver,
fruits.
too.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
And these were all the things that they took from Egypt. Or
Exactly,
Egypt,
yeah.
God's
Because
land.
you read all this stuff, these are the offerings you are to receive from them, from the Israelites. Gold, silver, bronze, blue, purple, and scarlet yarn, and fine linen. Goat hair, ram skins, another type of durable leather, some other fancy leather.
Sea cows.
Well,
That's what mine says.
Say what?
Hides of sea cows.
sea cows, yes. I thought it said cows, and it's like,
Sea cows.
yeah.
Cow.
That,
What is a sea cow?
well, they're not
Walrus?
sure.
Manatee.
Some,
They
Something
call
like
manatee a sea cow now.
some
Yeah.
people said it could be porpoises, dolphins, seals, They weren't quite sure what
But they
this-
weren't in the
That's
area
like
for
a
seals, were they?
No.
No, that's what,
No.
they probably get that from the Egyptians.
Ah.
Because the Egyptians were traders,
True.
and the Israelites hate the sea. They're fearful of the sea. So they had to get it from the Egyptians. And this is why God made the Egyptians so willing to give the Israelites all this stuff. Because God had planned in advance the tabernacle.
Would this, having the people give all these things for the tabernacle, give them pride of ownership so they would be more willing to
More respectful.
participate, yeah, more respectful of it and more,
It could be, because what their heart prompts them to give. So here they had nothing while they were in Egypt, while they were slaves. Then they got a whole bunch of stuff as they're leaving, so they were probably, pretty happy to have all this stuff. Now God's asking them to give it up. So, and they did. They did.
Part that kind of scratched my head, the K-wood, you figure the desert wouldn't have big trees, but they use 15-foot poles for the side of the tents and the tabernacle, that kind of.
Well, I looked up that tree.
Acacia.
Acacia?
Yeah. And it is a wide, like an umbrella tree almost, very wide spanned.
Yep.
And they do grow in the desert and they do grow in Africa.
Yeah, in
and-
Africa,
Yeah.
Yeah, I was looking at the
It-
tree.
It's mentioned 7 times in the chapters we read. And it says that that's the only tree that would have been available to them. But it's such a hard wood, and the tree deposits its waste products into the deep part of the wood, so it's insect repellent.
Oh, for heaven's
Yeah,
sake.
insects-
Isn't that interesting?
But insects burrow in there.
No, insects don't go in there because they don't like the taste.
I thought they liked the nectar.
No, the research I read said
Oh.
it made it unpalatable to insects. So it was tough, it was heavy, it was dense, and it was insect repellent.
And it just happened to
And
grow
it just
there.
happened to be the only tree that was available.
God is thorough.
Isn't that amazing? How in the world do you guys think that happened?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's amazing. Yeah, so the Egyptians gave all the Israelites all this stuff, and now they've got to turn it back over again. What else did you guys see that was interesting in the first section, the offerings for the tabernacle?
The onyx and
Gems.
gemstones.
That's going to be in the priest's clothing.
Oh, that would have to weigh a ton.
They had a lot of stuff on them in the desert. What else do you see here?
So what's the breastplate piece? That sounds like armor,
And
doesn't it?
I think
It's in
there's a
there's a
picture in
picture
Gary's
in
book, yeah.
Yeah, there's
It
a
has a
picture
picture in
of what
Oh,
the
I'm
Of what
These
like
were
in the
like.
book.
And we'll get deeper details as we read on what the priest's clothing looks going to look
on
like.
the
It's gonna
back.
be on the other side. Of course.
were those gems,
Oh,
could you find the 12
oh my
cards?
goodness.
I don't know.
Seems like me there's something about the stones representing the
But there's
tribes.
some of the Middle Easterners get picture, but I can't
I
read
didn't
it.
read it on here, but.
I wish I
didn't
brought my
read it on
Bible.
here.
It's the study Bible. So,
I thought it was interesting God expressed his desire to be with them so that I may dwell
Yes.
in their midst.
That's exactly what I was looking
That
for.
It was all of this so that I can be with my people.
Yep. I will dwell among them. I will dwell among them. Now, in the Hebrew word, it's kind of has a double meaning, that God will dwell among them, but he's also free to move away from them if they start misbehaving. So that the Hebrew word had a double meaning. I'm going to be with you, but you better be careful. Otherwise, I'm going to use the freedom I have to just leave you. You can't hold me captive. The ark. The ark. Made of acacia wood, of course. And it's pretty big.
And pretty heavy.
and pretty heavy.
Oh, yeah, Carrie,
Yep.
But
that's the
it's covered
piece
in
you
75 pounds of
Yeah.
gold.
Oh,
that's the
That's it.
piece, yeah,
And they probably had a bunch of them do it, but, all right.
yeah.
I've seen it before.
Oh,
Sew
okay.
one of those, Carrie.
Pardon?
I bet you could sew one of those.
No. Sue could.
And everything is portable. Everything had to have
Except
rings in it,
poles on
with the
Right.
poles always inside, just in case they had to pick up a knee.
which they did, I mean, yeah.
Which they had to.
And not to touch it.
Yep.
Oh, never thought
Like
about
in the
that, not to
movie.
touch it.
Well, what was it? Somebody
Turned to ash.
carried the ark and someone touched it and he died.
Yeah.
I was trying to remember who it was.
Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Yeah.
Now,
No.
the
Eyeballs went through them, it was really
There's
good.
a higher angel.
Raiders of the Lost Ark. Just didn't turn me on.
The top of the ark, the mercy seat,
All I could find was that it's one of the unearthly beings that attend directly to God.
head of a man, body of a bull and a lion, wings of an eagle.
Yep,
That'd be
and-
scary.
It's important.
Where did you read that? I didn't remember reading that. I
What's
thought the
that?
mercy, I thought
Read
the,
on from 17, and 18 is where they make 2 cherubim of gold. if you
yeah, I
wanna
had the
look at it.
cherubims, but,
No, this
I
was in
think
the
it-
notes.
oh, I
Yeah.
didn't
If
get,
you keep reading on down,
Really?
overshadowing with their wings, their faces one to another.
but I thought that was the cherubim.
Yes.
You know,
Okay,
you
wait,
look at
let's talk about
this,
the eagle. Oh, that's what the eagle
God was
cherubims
setting
look
them up
like?
to say, this
The
is my
body?
sacred place.
Mhm.
And they did, because they didn't have a sacred place, they had the little G gods they'd carry with them. He wanted his own place for them to come and worship.
That he
Because
could
I'm looking at
rest with
this,
them.
it's in the middle of the tent area, it's his place, it's,
And if you notice, there's different areas where people can go to. So outside the fence, anyone can go. Inside the fence, the Israelites can go. Inside the tent, the priest can go. And inside the Holy of Holies, only the high priest can
Right.
go.
who wore the thing with the chest thing.
Right, so they had the constant division of people.
The tabernacle was really similar to the temple and probably an image of what might be in heaven.
Could be, could be. But then remember what happened to the temple curtains when Jesus died. That
Did-
there will no longer be this separation between God and his people. What, hon?
No, this is where the menorah comes in play. He has them build the golden lamppost with, he was very specific with the flowers going up.
Mm-hmm.
That, and I'm looking, I'm going, oh, well, that's the menorah for. Interesting. What, but I kept thinking, where did they get all the gold?
They
The Egyptians,
Remember
remember?
They gave them that much gold? That's a lot of gold.
They did. Yeah, they did.
They were,
There were a lot of
remember they were
people
anxious to get rid of them.
Uh-huh.
They were anxious to get rid of them.
Wow.
So the ark served 3 different purposes. It was a symbol of God's protection to be taken into battle. They usually took it in front of them into battle. It was a throne for the invisible God to sit upon, the seat of mercy. And it was a container for the tablets of the covenant law that God would give Moses.
Oh, that's the same thing.
So it had 3 different purposes. And then the way the cherubim were positioned on the chair, they'll be facing in towards God when God sits on the chair, on the seat of mercy.
Now, say that again, the what?
The cherubim,
Yeah.
when you read the description, they're facing inwards, so they face God.
Their wings were
Oh.
supposed to face
and
each
then-
other.
Yeah.
Or
so
upward.
In,
I saw
in one
that
of the
right-
pictures.
yeah, right
yep,
there.
So it's intended that God would sit in the middle here.
Oh,
So the cherubim are facing him, always
Oh,
attentive
that
to him.
must have been on that picture.
okay.
Yeah, I think that's a close thing.
You can't really see it.
No.
Yeah, it was on the thing that just went that way.
Yeah, there was a really good picture of it on there.
They were probably always destroyed by watching Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Yeah, and would you
Yeah.
say the cherubim faces of the eagles? What was your
Oh,
description
yeah,
of that?
I remember.
I never.
Head of a man, body of
Of a
a
man.
bull and lion, and wings of an angel.
Yeah.
According to
Put it in
this
front of it and swing it around
commentary.
to do it, you know.
I just always thought they were just angels, but.
That's
it's
what I
not.
thought.
Oh,
Yeah, cherubim.
very good.
Super special,
Oh, where you
Super
can
special
see it
angels.
more
super
clearly.
special angels.
It's like superheroes, right?
And hold on to this thought that everything so far is made of gold or covered in gold. So just hold on to that thought. So then we have the table, which of course is made out of acacia wood. So it's got to last. And it's, how big is it? 3 foot long, 1.5 feet wide, and 2.5 feet high. So it's a decent sized table. And of course, it's got to be portable. And then we move. And then the bread.
Is that the manna that they put in there? No,
No, this is the bread of presence that's on the table.
okay.
Okay?
And when it says presence, it means
Yeah.
God.
God's presence.
Yeah,
Yep.
because it's capital P.
And that was to feed the priest
Yep.
during the week and replaced once a week with wine.
And it's always got to be in the presence of God. That's what the bread is for.
Looks like it's got the same carrying poles as the ark.
Yep. And let's see.
Is that supposed
Oh.
to represent Jesus?
No, some commentaries try to tie it to Jesus, but we have to be careful of the relationships we make, because sometimes it's a stretch. But this was for God and for the priests. And each loaf was 4.9 pounds of flour. So you bakers think how big those loaves were.
Huge.
Break your foot if you drop
Yeah,
it.
And wait, but he ate that throughout the week?
the priests.
Hmm.
Because Matthew references it in Matthew 4.
Huh.
In Matthew 12:4, when the disciples are going through the field and they're picking pieces of grain on the Sabbath, the Pharisees said, well, that's wrong, they shouldn't be doing that. And Jesus says, well, remember David, him and his buddies went into the tabernacle and ate the sacred bread. So if David could do it, my guys can do it.
Almost 5 pounds of flour.
So is this bread in any way similar to what we do at communion?
No, I don't know exactly. Maybe we'll read later on, but I don't know what purpose it served to the priests, except that it was
Nourishment?
sacred bread. And I read somewhere that it had frankincense in it. Now, I don't know what frankincense tastes like, but
That's licorice.
to
isn't
me,
it?
is it licorice?
I don't know.
I'm looking
No.
at Nature Woman here.
'Cause it-
Is it?
it's-
No?
No, it's not.
I have it in a soap at home.
Yeah, and it's smelly.
It is
Anise.
smelly.
That's it.
Yeah,
Yes.
so
Anise,
I can't
that's
see
licorice.
eating bread
Yeah.
with that on it,
Or
but
fennel has a
who knows?
Yeah, that one soap I have has frankincense in it for dry
Yeah.
skin.
So they had different tastes, so maybe it was
It's a different
okay.
brand I'm trying.
And then we get to the lampstand, and this to me is just amazing. Besides, you think it was made out of one piece of gold, and it was hammered. And to think of the intricate designs that got asked to be done, and this was all hammered.
Yeah, the flowers going up the one side and I mean, it was all, I was like, the detail.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and that's when I knew we had to have pictures, because
Right.
I just,
Oh, yeah, I couldn't do it,
visualize it.
yeah.
I was getting a totally different picture of what this thing looked like.
In my mind, it was like a pole lamp or something.
Yeah, yeah.
But it looks like a menorah.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, it's the first menorah.
what it comes from.
So this was almonds? And is that what Aaron's staff broke into when later on they put it in the ground and it sprouted? Almond?
Like almond flowers with buds and blossoms. And I've never seen one, so I don't know.
Almond flour?
The almond flowers,
Well, they grow
buds and
almonds
blossoms.
On the
in
almond.
California,
Well, yeah,
You're talking flour, not
so,
it's a tree.
Yeah,
it's
flowers,
Yeah,
She's got almond flour.
almond flower.
it should. It should.
But it's from a tree, right? The
Yes.
almond flour?
Yeah.
Almond,
Yeah, it's
uh-huh.
growing a tree, yeah.
Yeah,
They raise a lot of them in California.
right.
Here, the almond tree.
75 pounds. It's
And
just
they're like
amazing.
white buds, aren't they,
They
Christie?
make wider.
I don't know, someone wrote a book called The Almond Tree.
Oh.
I'm getting there. Let me go to, there we go.
So So this is just one piece of
So
gold,
the
they didn't
Bible
put other
calls
gold
it a
together to make it?
lampstand.
No.
And it
I
was
wonder what
really-
would happen, how would they even,
Well, they probably had to melt a lot of gold that they got from the Egyptians to
and
get
then,
one solid
to get
piece.
one solid, okay.
You're
yeah.
right, white flowers.
Okay.
Yeah, it just looks like almost like a cherry tree
Right.
when it's in
It probably is. 'cause
blooming.
Yeah.
Just white, so it's just white flowers, it's nothing.
Mm.
Hmm. Jeremiah.
And then it goes to the so those are all the furnishings of the tabernacle.
Backtracking a second.
Yes.
One vine going up was like Jesus, and then I'm the vine and you're the branches. So 6 branches going out.
For the post.
6 was the man's number, 6 plus 1 is 7, Jesus' number. I was stretching it, but I thought that was interesting.
It's a good stretch, I like that one.
I always thought it was a candle, but it was oil to be burnt.
Yeah. And that's in Gary's book. You can see the holders where they could pour the oil in, and then where the flame is a little bit farther into it.
And it'd be lit 24 hours a day.
Not like the menorah now where they just put the 6 candles in or the,
Yeah. I think somewhere it tells us that it was burning at night. So I
sorry.
thought at first it was 24 hours, but I think in
Because there was no
27
light in there otherwise,
Yeah.
yeah.
you wanna order one? No, I'm just kidding.
Sure,
We'll have
would be
to-
light during the day, I mean, they
Well,
didn't
we'll
have
have to
to.
see. I
I
thought
would
it's
think though
somewhere-
it should always be burnt for,
That's what I thought too, but I think I remember seeing something, so we'll have to
I
catch
read
up with that.
today.
So we have all the furnishings, we've got the ark, we've got the table, we've got the
Lamp.
lampstand. All that's made, all of it's with acacia wood, all of it's gold. So we're still in a tabernacle, everything's still gold.
I thought it was interesting that all the pictures you see, they're all arranged in kind of the same position. God must have had a plan where everything went.
Sure you did.
Well, he told him what hard it.
And then we've got these curtains.
That was the incense.
I thought that was this.
Yes.
That's just.
All the curtains,
They take
Piece of fabric, 42 feet long.
42 feet long, 6
That's
foot
longer than this
wide.
room.
42
As
feet long.
wide as you are tall.
Did a lot of laundry, Pam.
So 420 feet, because there's
do
10
you wanna look at it
curtains.
again?
Oh, it's going that way.
It did, it's
Oh,
coming
did-
back, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Now,
It's
these
going back to
curtains are
Gary.
just
Yeah,
for
'cause we
the
haven't seen it.
Outside,
Oh.
the courtyard, or are they for the tabernacle?
No, these are the tabernacle curtains first.
Madeline.
They make the courtyard.
So if